rolling down the stretch at beautiful Belmont Park. In fact, moving right along with this fall championship meet, day number 26 on a picture-perfect Friday afternoon at beautiful Belmont Park. Welcome aboard. We break from the gate far above the 8 pole on this edition of Belmont Insider. It's Jason Blewett, Richard McLeory alongside. We say it just about every night. You cannot beat the weather and this thoroughbred racing at Belmont this time of year.
We've been so blessed. It is just absolutely beautiful New York autumn going on, and I'm glad you're back in that seat because I'm happier in this seat.
Heard you did a great job with Maggie last night, and an insider to remember, but I'm back from Saratoga Racecourse and had the privilege of spending the morning with Keir McLaughlin. Was definitely in good company and wowed once again by the steel gray 3-year-old by Tappet and Frosted, who had a major Breeders' Cup Classic work, 5/8 over at Green Tree in 59 flat.
And it's just great that you were there to witness this and him working the opposite direction, which they have the ability to do. It's their own private training center, and I like it. It gives a horse an opportunity to stretch or use both sides of his body, all of his muscles, and he looked good coming down the stretch. What did you think of that?
I thought he looked great. Machine-like, very consistent, and I doubt he's a 3-year-old we've seen the best yet. His body of work this year has been solid. Keir McLaughlin, his trainer, who I caught up with, thinks he could be even better against a great field in the $5 million Classic. We're about 200 miles north of beautiful Belmont Park in Saratoga at Sheikh Mohammed's gorgeous-looking Green Tree private training facility. The purpose of this trip with the Breeders' Cup about 2 weeks away, to catch up with both trainer Keir McLaughlin and his multiple graded stakes winner, Frosted. Seemed like Frosted was pretty happy this morning, Kieran. A nice 5-furlong work here at Green Tree.
Yes, he worked very well. He went pretty fast, 59 flat up in 12, but he's been doing very well. It seems like the more we do with him, the better he does.
How about breezing him clockwise or the wrong way? What goes into that here at Green Tree?
Well, we're very fortunate to have this track, and we can do as we wish. And we just feel like going left-handed all the time. The injuries in American racing are mostly left front and right hind. So we like to switch it up here at Green Tree, and we've trained most of them right-handed.
Talk about the progression of Frosted, a very good 2-year-old, and it seems like he still might be a horse and probably is a colt who's still coming into his own.
Yes, he's really gotten good the last couple of races, all year, every race. Like I said, he seems to get better with racing and working, and he's really doing well. His best race probably to date was the Parks race, the Pennsylvania Derby, and it was back in 3 weeks after the Travers tough race with American Pharoah. We were a little concerned about the short rest, but he ran huge. And now he's training great, as you can see, and we're looking forward to the Breeders' Cup.
All systems go for Frosted, who, along with Keir McLaughlin's other 3 major Breeders' Cup starters, will ship to Keeneland on Monday, October 26th. Top-class trainer, top-class horse. And what do you think the main strength or weapon for Frosted is?
Well, it seems to me that Frosted's shown the ability to stay on. He doesn't, at least to me, impress me with a big turn of foot. He's more steady, keeps coming at you, and it seems like as he's matured, he's gotten stronger, and he's been able to increase the length of his run, which could bode well going 1.25 miles at Keeneland. He seems like a Tappet that continually is getting better with age.
He's going to need his best. American Pharoah, Beholder, Honor Code, Tonalist. It is one deep, very deep Breeders' Cup Classic field.
Yeah, no doubt. And on a personal note, how'd you like Saratoga this time of year?
First time I've ever been up there in the fall. Gorgeous. And the foliage, peaking at this point. Driving past Saratoga Racecourse down Nelson before I made the left in the Green Tree, I mean, the trees, the golds, the ambers, the yellow, it was really breathtaking. It was really great being up there for Friday morning training.
And the ghosts of racing past rustling through those leaves.
No kidding. And through the old grandstand at the old spa. We'll be back next July. Hope you'll be there with us. Todd Pletcher will certainly be at Saratoga Racecourse as we have another major trainer and, of course, Breeders' Cup news regarding Carolina, his 3-year-old filly who had a workout along with a whole bunch of Pletcher horses at Keeneland.
Yeah, Todd's got most of his horses or Breeders' Cup horses down at Keeneland already. Carolina worked very well, 47.4 out, 1 minute and 3/5. Todd's not a guy that works his horses fast, generally speaking, so I'm sure she did this well within herself. Also a work of interest, Rachel's Valentina, half in 49-1. That's the kind of Todd Pletcher move we normally see, that maintenance move. And you got to think that she's going to appreciate stretching out to 2 turns the way she ran in her first 2 starts.
And was so seasoned in those 2 races, both wins, including the Grade 1 Spinaway at Saratoga. And I like, as a footnote, actually, regarding the juvenile fillies, it'll likely be a major story and plot line going into the Breeders' Cup. You really get that sort of classic East versus West with Songbird and Rachel's Valentina knocking heads.
Yeah, no doubt. And you could tell there's that kind of tension already. The West Coast riders and pundits already talking about their horse. And, of course, on the East Coast, we take a lot of pride in our horses.
And that's the way it's supposed to be. And we take pride in the training and jockey colony we currently have at beautiful Belmont Park. A number of the best were in action in Friday's featured 8th race. As we get it to a sunny day, Larry Coleman is standing by. And here go fillies and mares on the turf, ready to go in the 8th.
They're off. Crizol came out running on the lead. On the outside, it's Pine Needles and Jaded Glory going with Crizol early on. These 3 to the front, and Queen's Parade is settling into stride. 4th right behind them and guided to the inside. Then it's Bishop's Pond, and evidently is last with 1 lap to go. Crizol and Joel Rosario lead the way early on here. Crizol on top by 1.5 lengths in the race to the clubhouse turn. And that it's Jaded Glory, Pine Needles floated out there 3 wide as Queen's Parade saves all the ground after a quarter of 24 and 3/5 seconds. And then it's Bishop's Pond and evidently. Crizol in front as they make their way to the backstretch. Crizol is the leader and on top by 3/4 of a length. Jose Lezcano keeping Jaded Glory in close company in second, while Pine Needle sits third on the outside of them, and Queen's Parade saves all the ground and is within 2.5 lengths of the lead after a 50-flat half-mile. Bishop's Pond second last. 5 lengths to make up for Bishop's Pond, and evidently is 7 lengths off the lead as they continue their journey up the backstretch here, with Crizol on top by 1 length over Jaded Glory and Pine Needles, and Queen's Parade right behind those 2. 3/4 and 1:15 flat. And then it's Bishop's Pond and Javier Castellano back there running in 5th, 5 off the lead, with evidently alongside of Bishop's Pond as Crizol keeps this lead into the far turn. It's been Crizol every step of the way so far. 3/4 of a length ahead of Jaded Glory running in second. Now a bit of daylight for Crizol, who kicks away by 1 length and 3/4. And then comes Jaded Glory, Pine Needles, and Queen's Parade, who's been down on the inside the whole trip so far. Evidently is sent along on the far outside, and Bishop's Pond needs some running room at the back of the pack, and they're into the stretch. Crizol in front. Queen's Parade's looking to come off the rail right alongside of Pine Needles. Running room on the inside for Bishop's Pond, who's coming on through. Evidently he's on the far outside, but Crizol just keeps on going. Crizol kicks away by 2, and then it's Queen's Parade followed by Pine Needles. And evidently it is Crizol all the way. And then it was Queen's Parade, followed by Pine Needles, and evidently in a photo.
That's the way you ride a speed horse, Mig, on the inner turf. A plan, marching along on the front end, Joel Rosario and Crizol.
What I loved about it, too, is he was so comfortable laying down those 25 even quarters, 3/4 and 15. But they got to the second turn. He didn't keep holding her up, waiting for other horses to get involved. He started letting her march on and made it more a test of stamina. When you have an advantage on a speed horse, you have to start using it at some point.
And Christophe Comont certainly had this French-bred fine-tune, and here he is alongside the Mig.
Crizol was very good today. Kind of set the pace. Were you anticipating her being in front?
Not really. I thought, I told Joel to be wherever he thought he would be comfortable. And, we ran it twice before in Saratoga. Probably the distance was too short twice, and she ran well. And today she found a better distance, and she won well.
She was so comfortable. Would you be looking now for maybe a race like the Long Island for her?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It comes back a little bit quick, but as long as she comes back in good shape, that's the plan, and we'll be there.
How about the Breeders' Cup? Tonalis, is he doing well?
No, we're very excited. We've got Tonalis breezing tomorrow. Also, it's called Red Vine. And we've got a question mark with a filly called Hard Not to Like, and probably also a turf sprinter called Pure Sensation. So I'm a lucky man.
And when will you ship to Lexington?
As late as possible. They're all doing great in New York. And all my horses are like their trainers. Are New Yorkers, and that's where they do well. So we stay here as long as we can.
Well, you're doing great in New York as well. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Another featured win on the card for trainer Christophe Coman. He's got quite a few in a career so far that will likely land him in the Hall of Fame when all is said and done. And some nice names there in the barn. It must be pretty nice when you're a guy like Christophe Coman. And look, he's earned it. But you look down the shed row and you've just got one solid stakes horse after another.
And he gets the most out of them. He develops a horse for the long run. And he is a guy that I have so much respect for as a horseman. But I said it half kidding but half not after the interview. He's getting so good at these interviews, I'm a little worried if he ever decides to walk out of the shed row and pick up a microphone, we might be in trouble.
Smooth.
Very smooth.
Smooth all the way, and in fact, we'll keep this timeout short and sweet on MSG Plus. Friday's Pick 6, we'll have the opening leg on the other side of this quick break.
Now you can enjoy your favorite pro and fantasy football teams while playing the races in style as Longshots welcomes back NFL Sunday Ticket. With over 400 HD TVs, 270 individual carols, a full-service sports bar and food menu, Longshots is the place to catch all the great racing and football action. So come on out, bring your friends, bring your league to Longshots, located on the second floor at Aqueduct.
Back to Belmont Park. We are getting warmed up. In fact, I'd say we're in the pocket tonight. We're about half-mile pole or so over Big Sandy, and that horse will join us momentarily. We hope you join us here all weekend long at Belmont Park. Clock is ticking. There's just 2.5 weeks remaining of the fall meet. We do have that $40 buy-in low roller contest. Sign up first floor of the grandstand. Come on out. It should be a good day, and a couple stakes on the card, big, including the Futurity, a race that kind of holds a soft spot for me. That was the first time, the 93 Futurity, I ever saw Holy Bull in person.
Holy Bull. First time Mike Smith rode him, too. Interesting.
Who'd he beat? Who was the big favorite? 2-year-old who had swept all 3 2-year-old stakes at Saratoga.
Not City Zip.
No, it was the Hare.
The Hare, wow.
Yeah, the
okay,
Hare.
Very good.
And he was like
City
1 to
Zip
5.
Later on.
Yeah, City Zip about a decade later or so, but who's counting? Let's move on to race number 4. Larry Comus will be counting at least the number of horses, as I thought we were going to get a frosted move going the other way. I don't know who that is. Augie's ready for a walk, actually. August Belmont Fluid is waiting for me on Emerson Avenue, as is Larry with the call as we start the Pick 6.
They're off. Henrik Rules slow to start. Prepper is going to the front. And that it's crowdfunding. Lost into shuffle on the outside. Altar Boy is down toward the rail. There goes Hendrick Rules on the far outside after that slow start by horses. Rediscover is next, and the trailer is Lightning Buzz. And Prepper is the leader as the field moves into the far turn. Hendrick Rules now goes up on the outside. Slow out of the gate, but already in front now after a 23 flat quarter. So Hendrick Rules is right on the outside of Prepper as they round the far turn. Altar Boy is right behind the leaders, running in third. Crowdfunding fourth by 3, and then Lightning Buzz, Rediscover, and Lost into Shuffle. Prepper on the inside. Henrik Rules ranges up on the outside, and these two are right together at the top of the stretch, and Altar Boy swings up outside of them. A 45 3/2 mile. They're into the stretch, and it's Prepper, Henrik Rules, and Altar Boy. And they come into the final furlong all right together. Altar Boy on the far outside, Prepper. Henrik Rules, the start catching up to him late, and they're coming down to the line, and it's Altar Boy. Altar Boy won it from Prepper, Henrik Rules, and Crowdfunding.
Firster by Reddy's Image, and Altar Boy, say your prayers, because here he comes off the far turn in a season debut for Todd Fletcher and Johnny V.
Yeah, I thought it was a real professional debut. Breaking from the rail, in behind horses. Johnny angled him out. Kind of looked like Johnny knew what he had underneath him. I wonder if Johnny's worked this horse in the morning, because he made just enough use of him to make sure the win was secured, but not so much where he was all in. At least that's what it felt like. I thought Henrik Rules ran well. First time started, didn't break great, but got involved. Should be interesting coming back.
Including that duel down the road between Carey Price and Henrik Lundqvist. We hope he'll make it 1-for-1 on the year next time they play the Canadians.
They were both real good, except for 1 weak goal, Henrik, last night, but Price, he was something else.
Got to put the puck in the net. Carey Price is pretty good, as is Larry Comus, who will get us up to speed in the opening leg of Friday's final Pick 3 on a beautiful afternoon at Belmont Park. Here we go on the main track for the final time today.
They're off. Colorado Grand Slam and Bellamy Way both came out of the gate well. Broadway Bay is out third to the outside. Then it's Here Comes Tommy, Jacks Are Wild, and the trailer is Sugar Gold up the backstretch. And Colorado Grand Slam and Bellamy Way go at it early on. The favorites are 1-2, and they've got a 3-length lead on Broadway Bay, who's running in third. And then it's Here Comes Tommy fourth by another 2.5. And then Sugar Gold and Jacks Are Wild, 23 and 4 the quarter, as Colorado Grand Slam leads Bellamy Way by a length as the field heads for the far turn. It's a 4-length gap back to Broadway Bay, who is now third on the outside. Here Comes Tommy follows in fourth. And then it's Sugar Gold fifth. Sugar Gold 7 lengths behind right now and leading only Jacks Are Wild around the far turn. The half in 47-2 for Colorado Grand Slam, but Bellamy Way's getting a little bit closer now. And the others are gaining ground as well. Broadway Bay has cut the gap to 1.5 lengths, but is sent along while 3 wide on the turn. Here Comes Tommy is next. Sugar Gold and Jacks Are Wild. They're coming toward the top of the stretch. Colorado Grand Slam trying to hold off Bellamy Way. They turn for home together. 3/4 in 1:11.3. Colorado Grand Slam getting away from Bellamy Way. And to the outside, here comes Tommy trying to get involved now. Colorado Grand Slam. Here comes Tommy on the outside. Bellamy Way continues to battle on and is still in with a late chance. Colorado Grand Slam on the outside. Here comes Tommy. Bellamy Way between them. Colorado Grand Slam. Here comes Tommy was second. Bellamy Way ended up third. And then Broadway Bay.
Gelding by Leighton Heat, very game and determined on the rail in Colorado Grand Slam.
Boy, he took Bellamy Way's best shot turning for home and shook him off, was resolute down to the wire. Great job by Michael Hushin having this horse ready to go a mile. I thought Bellamy Way might be a little bit more focused with the blinkers, and it didn't seem like it made a big difference to me. Still seemed like he was running just a bit spotty, and he was picked off late by Here Comes Tommy to kind of round out a better exotic for you.
Yeah, no kidding. Here Comes Tommy, a much bigger price than the 1-2 favorite, Bellamy Way, who will live to fight another day, as Larry once again stands by in this Friday edition of Insider with the calls of 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 9.
Ring on a Dream and Flat Away, and Acapella is taking the lead now. Acapella to the front, 47 and 4 for a half mile, and she's going to be taken on by Here Comes Rosie on the outside. Here Comes Rosie, goes right on by. Here comes Rosie right by Acapella and pulling away by 3, by 4. Here comes Rosie and Javier Castellano coming home all alone in front. Acapella was second, and then it was Sweet Peaches and Legend of Lorelei. Life cuts the corner. Brigetta has dropped back a bit, and My Donna Jean, a long shot, is circling up on the outside and getting into contention, and they're into the stretch, and here comes My Donna Jean on the far outside, running along with Breach of Duty, and these two hit the front. Breach of Duty and My Donna Jean from the back of the pack. Greek Life is closing the gap on the inside. Breach of Duty, My Donna Jean, Greek Life coming up the rail. Here comes Greek Life on the inside, and Greek Life runs them down. Then Breach of Duty, My Donna Jean, and Bonita Luna. Bell and Aimone toward the inside, followed by Tizador and Watusi, and they're into the stretch. And Congress Park keeps on rolling along. 3/4 in 1:12.4. Congress Park in front. But here's Enthusiastic Gal running right by her. Enthusiastic Gal storms past Congress Park. And then it's Aimone and Fine Instincts who kicks it in late and will get up for second. But it's all Enthusiastic Gal by 6. Fine Instincts was second over Congress Park, and then Aimone scored. Cosmic Coincidence to catch. 3/4 up in 1:10.3, and they're into the stretch. Cosmic Coincidence, but here comes Mr. Palmer now. And Mr. Palmer has gone right by. Mr. Palmer opening up from Cosmic Coincidence and Private Tale. And on the far outside, Spring Court has made progress from last, but the winner is Mr. Palmer, and he's all by himself. Mr. Palmer geared down in the end to beat Private Tale, then Spring Court and Cosmic Coincidence. Turns for home, and that lead has dwindled. It's down to 1.5 lengths. Shakespearean Dream moves up alongside. Outside of them, Daisy Cutter comes on. Upstate Bird behind them. Having to steady was Teresa's Candy Rose. Here comes Successful Sweep on the outside. Also gaining ground farther out, Race and Shine. And My Jimmy Choo Girl into the final 16th. Daisy Cutter to the front. Daisy Cutter from Shakespearean Dream. Teresa's Candy Rose. Daisy Cutter won it. Shakespearean Dream was second. And then it was Teresa's Candy Rose in successful sweep. Ender, who just walked out of the gate, is picking off horses one by one, but has floated 6 wide as they come to the top of the stretch. And it is Oscar Nominated, who has taken the lead on the outside. And then it's Silent Assassin. Arch Contender has made his way up into third on the outside. Cyber Security is fourth. It is Oscar Nominated. And Oscar Nominated, the favorite's going to come home on top as they come down to the line. Cyber Security's going to get second from Silent Assassin, and Arch Contender ended up fourth.
Basically a short price, but all-turf, all-star, late double, with Christophe Command and Belmont rounding out races 8 and 9, and it looked like Junior Alvarado in the last was just basically a passenger.
Yeah, a horse that was very well meant. He had run well against maiden allowance conditions and now dropped down a meaningful enough drop that made it easy on him.
All right, called by Kitten's Joy, still throwing winners, one turf horse after another. Cappy's up now as we check out the second look on day number 26, and we'll go back to race number 2, Meg. I think you liked the ride quite a bit with Joel Rosario.
Yeah, I thought it was noteworthy for 2 reasons. I thought the ride by Joel Rosario, who I think's been riding terrific, and his ride on Chris Soule, putting them to sleep on the lead in the feature, and this ride splitting horses and that patented strong finishes, but also for Robert Falcone Jr., who now has 6 starters at the meet with 3 wins, a second and 2/3. He's 100% in the money. Let's give a young man some credit getting off the mark.
And he's done a real nice job with that New York-bred turf, closing turf sprinter in Rumble Doll, as Joel was the only rider today to win more than 1 race. Rode a good-looking allowance winner yesterday at Keeneland in the 7th race named Watershed. If you have not seen that race, I'd advise you to hop on the computer and check it out. Chad Brown continues to dominate in the local standings as he looks for 4 consecutive Belmont Park fall training titles. 9 different trainers winning a race today. And getting back to Joel for a second, he's got 8 calls out of tomorrow's 10-race program. Claims, we had 4. Race number 2, Breach of Duty, claimed by Michelle Nevin for $20,000. 3 claims, and all were shaken upon in race number 5. With that trifecta out of the way, we can focus in on both the Futurity and the Athenia. Little Saturday preview as we have that $300,000 guaranteed late at 4. Wow, 2 icons here in the Belmont Park Jockey Colony. In fact, the United States, if not the globe. John Velasquez and it looked like Javier Castellano in the Kupferberg Silks. Talking some strategy, hanging out in the paddock and catching some rays before getting on their horses. And speak of the devil, there's Johnny V aboard the Screet Mark in last year's Ticonderoga. Just a week out, 8 days in fact, from that Empire Showcase Day card, Saturday, October 24th. A great tradition during the fall time here at Belmont Park, so make your plans. And pretty nice having, not on the main track or turf, but just seeing Johnny and Javier just shooting the breeze before competing earlier today.
It just strikes me so much, particularly now Johnny, he's already a Hall of Famer. He just seems so relaxed and just so confident in who he is, and it seems like he's really enjoying this part of his career.
He's a great guy to have around. We're big fans of Johnny V, the old 5-star general, and he'll see some action on the Saturday card, as will we on Insider as we get on to the Futurity preview. Up first is Ready Dancer for Todd Fletcher.
Yeah, Ready Dancer, he'll be making his 5th start of his life, and ran well, breaking his maiden here in Saratoga. I don't know, what do you think happened to him last time? Was it the sloppy track in the Champagne, or was it the Grade 1 competition?
A little bit of both. Don't think he ever got on track, though, over the wet track, and maybe a bit over his head at this stage of the game, running against horses like Greenpoint Crusader and dropping class, and I think Todd's found a much better spot all around for him.
And I think he'll appreciate the turn back to 6 furlongs as well.
Fair enough. Let's move on to Full Salute as we head down 95 South and pick up a replay down at Parks.
Here's a horse that's never done anything wrong in 5 starts. He's got 2 wins, 3 seconds. He's drawn outside. I think that's a benefit here. I think he'll get into the race the right way. He has enough speed, but his hand isn't forced. And Eddie Pliza, he wins everywhere. It seems like he struggles a little bit more when he comes to New York, but Full Salute making his 6th career start. I like horses that have racing. I like when they have foundation. That being said, I actually like a maiden in here, the one horse King Kranz, who I thought ran terrific against Mohayman, who I think is a horse we need to keep an eye out of Kieran McLaughlin.
And even Seymour Deeney.
Yeah.
I think the popular wisdom, at least out of that race, talking to you and even Andy on the Racing Report, that's been the best 2-year-old maiden race we've run all year, bar none, the opener here on September 19th.
I think so, but we'll know more tomorrow after they run the futurity.
All right, King Kranzmer, Zayat Stables, as we get on to the fillies and mares. And much like the Knickerbocker a week ago, this drew almost a grade 1 quality field. Coffee Click, or excuse me, Lady Lara and Coffee Click lead it off.
Yeah, and two really nice fillies. I think Lady Lara's got a tough road to hoe here, breaking from post 13 on the inner turf. It's a very difficult post position, and she could be lost out in the middle of the track. Coffee Click, we're taking a look at her win at Parks here, and she's got more tactical speed. Even though she's drawn out in the 10 post, she should get her position going forward, and I think out of the two, probably projects to get a better trip than Lady Lara.
She's run well at Belmont Park in the past, a winner of the Just a Game on the Belmont Undercard in 2014. Stellar Path. Let's take a look at her as she goes out for Christoph Kaman, who looks to take down another major stake.
Well, she gets all the best of it with the inside draw on the inner turf. You want to be inside on this inner turf out of that little chute. She's got enough speed to get her position, but she's not forced into anything, and I think she projects to get a really good trip. And if you like her, the inside post makes you like her even more.
All right, let's set it down, Andy and Maggie, for Saturday's plays.
Thanks a lot, guys. Well, there are a lot of terrific races on Saturday's card. I think a lot of places to go to take horses that should be fair prices. The 8th race, one of the legs of the guaranteed late pick 4, is a field of 14. Actually, 15 are entered. One isn't also eligible. I'm very interested in the 3 First Down, a horse that I actually think I made an insider pick before, and I feel like we should have cashed on him at Saratoga 2 races back. Got a kind of overly aggressive ride that day, and a pace that ended up melting down, and he did extremely well to finish 3rd behind 2 horses that came from last and second to last. Last time he ran First Down, he caught a muddy track and a much better horse and Ready for Rye. This is a realistic spot for First Down. Tommy Albert trying his trainers, enjoying a very good meet, and I think this is a good place for First Down to get it done at what should be a fair price in the 8th race on Saturday.
Looking forward to this Saturday's card of racing. We have the Athenia as well as the Futurity, but I'm going to take a look at another 2-year-old race. It's a maiden special weight for the New York bred boys, and we're going the 7 furlongs here, and one that I think will like the extra furlong in his second start is number 6 in here, Bluegrass Cat Smile. Pretty nice family that this guy comes from, at least from the New York bred standpoint. Now, he does get a little bit of a makeover in that he'll get Lasix for his second start, as well as adding blinkers. But the thing that struck me about this horse is that he's so big, so impressive looking, and just handsome, for lack of a better term for him. But I thought he did some running in that 6 furlong race. Down on the inside, not a very comfortable spot to be for such a big horse. I mean, he's pushing over 17 hands. So I like that he's drawn a little bit more outside. I also like that he gets a little more ground to cover. So that's why I'm liking Bluegrass Cat Smile for your Paddock Insider for the Saturday card. Jay, Meg, back to you guys.
And a big smile from Maggie as we say goodbye. Always fun hanging out with the MIG. And this Friday edition of Belmont Insider is come and gone. We're at the finish line. We're taking the saddle off, but we do it all again tomorrow right here on MSG+.